Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is Elaine and today I'll be talking about all the things that I bought in Hawaii. So I don't normally do a haul post on the blog. I don't usually buy all this much at one time. However, I'm coming off of a no buy May and I did go a little overboard, but I thought I would take the opportunity to do a haul video. I feel like that is a staple of YouTube and might as well give it a try and we'll see how it goes. If you didn't know, I'm originally from Hawaii and growing up, Ala Moana was my local mall. Hawaii has a lower sales tax. It's 4.712% compared to 9.75 here in California. Also, Hawaii has what they call a Hawaii price or a Hawaii discount. And so if you're not familiar, a lot of the stores, the luxury stores in Hawaii, give a 5 to 20% discount. It is listed on the sticker, and for the most part it's because they want their prices to be competitive to Asia prices, which is also great for US mainland buyers because it is also lower than US mainland prices and website prices. So it really varies depending on the store, and of course I'll go through it, but I also wrote it on my blog. So I have a blog post where I update frequently. Every time I go to Hawaii, I update it and let you know what are the newest discounts. It definitely varies. It changes time to time, especially with LVMH brands like Celine, Louis Vuitton. What ends up happening is sometimes when Louis Vuitton has a price increase, Hawaii doesn't apply for a short time at least. And so you get a greater discount depending on certain months, and then when they do another price increase, Hawaii will maybe catch up and then there isn't as much of a discount. And also for LVMH, it's tricky. They do it by item. So sometimes when an item is hot or new, they will not have a Hawaii price, but if it's just like a staple classic, you're looking at maybe a 5 to 10% discount at most. Sometimes it's just $100. As I say in that blog post, the best way to find out if you're really interested, I would call the store and they will let you know what the price is in Hawaii. All right, so let's start my left to right. And while I'm at it, if you could like and subscribe, that would really help my very new YouTube channel. I hope to bring you quality content, mostly bag reviews, which is what I've been doing on my blog at fairlycurated.com. So this is all from Costco. So if you go to Hawaii and you're looking for snacks to bring back to friends and family and coworkers, I highly recommend checking out Costco if you have a Costco membership. Their prices on variety of items is much better than, say, ABC store or even a Long's. It doesn't mean they're all bulk like this. They do come in individually wrapped boxes, even smaller boxes. There's only 2 Costcos on the island of Oahu. There's one in Hawaii Kai, which is the east side of the island, and then there's also one sort of in the central part of Honolulu. It is supposedly the busiest Costco in the United States. Getting parking there is terrible. I would highly recommend trying to go early. There's a ton of construction there right now, so give yourself ample time to get there and to leave. It's just, if you're in a rush, I wouldn't recommend it. The things that I got here, I got from the Hawaii Kai Costco, which is closer to where my family is, and it's a much more chill Costco. It is also quite large. I mostly hit up the snack aisle. As you can see here, this is a furikake mix, furikake that usually you put over rice. Here they have a little suggestion of where you can put your furikake. But we usually just put it on rice or sometimes popcorn. I've only seen this in Hawaii where you can get it in bulk. Usually they come in these little glass jars. And these 2 here are furikake mixes. So it's usually furikake on top of like Chex Mix, Bugles, pretzels. So yeah, this is what I got at Costco. Here are some of the smaller items that I got. So this one I got at the ABC store in Hawaii. That's, I think, the only place where you can get some of these keychains. This one's a special 50th anniversary of Hello Kitty keychain. So 50th anniversary was actually last year in 2024, but they still had some of this in stock, and I thought it was so cute. Definitely somewhat influenced by Jessie Styles on YouTube with her bag charm collection, and she also is a huge fan of Hello Kitty, and I love that also that Hello Kitty is tan in Hawaii. I got these Tom Ford sunglasses at Nordstrom Rack. So I actually only have 1 pair of Bottega sunglasses, and I wrote about this in a blog post about the things that I don't buy, and that's usually sunglasses. So this is my second pair. My Bottega pair is probably about 7 years old, so they're very scratched up, and it came to the point where it actually was affecting my line of sight. It was a little blurry towards the bottom, just from the scratches. And so it was about time. So I did go to Nordstrom Rack in Ward. That's where I like to go to find designer sunglasses. I got this one for $180. So I like squarish frames. I like aviator styles, and I also like sunglasses with nose pads. But my husband calls these Elton John sunglasses. So I don't know, maybe. But I also like this pair because it's a brown lens and my other one is black. I mean, I still plan to wear the other one, but now I have a second pair that is much clearer to see out of. And then I got this secondhand sterling silver Tiffany ring from Ecotown. So that is a Japanese style thrift store. So if you think of like Book Off in Japan, where they just have a bunch of random secondhand things, whether it's instruments, high-end bags, mid-range bags, clothes, shoes, a little bit of everything. So in Hawaii, there's an Ecotown Select, which is where I got this in Ala Moana. On the Macy's side, you go downstairs, and they have mostly high-end bags, mid-range bags, a lot of aloha shirts, some ukuleles, some Hawaiian art, and some jewelry. And then there's also an Ecotown where Costco is, the busiest Costco in the US, but they sell mostly toys. They have a very small selection of high-end items. They sell a lot of aloha shirts, a lot of instruments, cameras, guitars, ukuleles, just a ton of music gear. So anyways, this is a rolling ring from Tiffany's in sterling silver. I got it for about $250, which I think is decent. I'm a huge fan of rolling rings. I think they're like a fun little fidget thing, and I just like the look of it. I mean, I love my Cartier one because it has, 3 different types of gold. But a sterling silver one is nice too. I also got this one because it does fit my index finger. Don't have too many bigger rings that fit on my index finger or middle finger. So yeah. And while we're on the topic of thrift stores or secondhand stores, I did go to the Savers on King Street. It's huge and they have a lot of stuff, and actually it's a lot better than the Goodwills that I went to in Hawaii. The quality of items and the volume of items and the pricing was also just better at Savers. If you guys are interested, I could do a whole thrifting in Hawaii blog post. I got these 2 shirts for $3 each. So first one is a secondhand Uniqlo shirt, and it shows one of my favorite characters. I think it's from Sanrio. It's called Gudetama. So it's like an egg that's lazy, the lazy egg. I think it's hilarious. And then a second item that I picked up was this striped shirt. I'm a sucker for stripes. So this is from the brand Kome Kadumo. It's actually a Japanese brand, and that's the nice thing about thrifting in Hawaii is that you can find things from Japan. Usually there are quite a few people from Japan who move to Hawaii or live part-time in Hawaii, so you will find Japanese brands there that you wouldn't be able to get necessarily on the mainland, and I just thought it was a good find. So I also did stop off at Uniqlo when I was in Hawaii. So the Uniqlo in Ala Moana is huge. It's probably one of the nicest, biggest ones outside of Japan. And they also have a lot of Hawaii exclusive items. There are things that you can get there that you can't get elsewhere. And so I bought a couple things for my daughter, and then I also bought myself this shirt, a little Snoopy surfing shirt. I thought it was really cute. And then another thing that you can do in Hawaii is they have basically 3 iPads set up so that you can make your own tote bag. So it's a mini tote. You make your own mini tote, big tote, t-shirt, long sleeve or short sleeve. So you can't put it on a lot of products, but you basically can customize it however you like. It's all done right there in store. It's really quick. Highly recommend if you're looking for a unique gift either for yourself or somebody else. I also really like Uniqlo's mini totes because it does fit over the shoulder just right. So yeah, I love this. And now on to the higher end items. So the first luxury thing that I bought was from Bottega Veneta. So this is actually my first time buying anything new in store. I do have a couple of Bottega pieces, but they're all vintage, made with the Napa leather and with the smaller weave. And this is the Wallace handbag. Used to be called the mini Wallace, and I think there used to be like a candy Wallace, which is even smaller, but now they're in store, there's only one, and it's called the Wallace. So I do like that for the Wallace. You can snap it here and you can have a hand carry bag, but for the most part, I usually keep it like this, and you can use it as a shoulder carry. So it's very comfortable. It fits a lot, but I do have to say, so even though this Wallace comes with feet and is leather lined, when I compare it to my vintage Bottega, it doesn't feel as luxurious. And I think a large part of that is because it's a calfskin leather. So it's kind of thin, it's shiny, it's not as soft. So yeah, I think in general, for the price and what you get, I do prefer a vintage bag. But you know, I was there and I was able to get a Hawaii price on this. So I think overall, if you're gonna buy new Bottega, go buy it in Hawaii. Most of their items are discounted, which wasn't always the case. I think it's only in the last 2 to 3 years that they started giving a Hawaii discount for Bottega items. The store I went into the most probably was Loewe. I went in a couple times because I pre-ordered the shell gray featherlight flamenco, and it wasn't going to be released until the following week. So I put in a deposit, which is the full amount. And then once I went back, I decided to not get that and instead get the medium flamenco dark brownie, because I've been wanting the flamenco for the longest time. Like every time I've gone to Hawaii, I've tried it on. And I bought it, I took it home, and then the problem was I did not put my stuff into the bag in the store. So when I tried it on at home with all my stuff in it, I just didn't like the shape. Like in the store, they have the tissue paper and it looks nice, but when you take it home and then you put all your heavy stuff into it, the soft lambskin really distorts. And so I prefer the flamenco to be a little more elongated in a rectangular shape. But really, if you want that bag to look nice, the medium flamenco with the donut chain, you're gonna have to cinch it and it's gonna be a dumpling. I mean, it's fine, but I just didn't love it. So I did return it, but I didn't realize is that when you return things at Loewe, you do not get a full refund, you get store credit. So then I went back to return it, ended up getting store credit, so I got a bunch of things. So actually, this is the very first thing that I got. It is a hedgehog bag charm. So even though this hedgehog has a ton of beading and it's very intricate, and it was actually the same price as the other wool felted animals. And I just thought, what a great deal. But also I just love the tactile feel of the little beads. It would fit perfectly with my black puzzle. It is super cute and I really love it. And the next thing I got is this strap. So you're saying, why would I buy a chocolate strap if I didn't buy the flamenco? So actually I do already have a mini flamenco in the old style where this strap would fit perfectly. And then I also got this donut chain for the flamenco as well. I mean, I could also put it on my mini hammock hobo. I realized that one of my favorite parts about the lambskin flamenco bag was that it had this donut chain. So, you know, I thought, you know what, return the bag. If I really want a donut chain, I'll just buy a donut chain, and now I can put it on my other Loewe bags. This donut chain is quite heavy. So this is the short donut chain, but I got both of these straps for $4.50 each. And the last thing that I got from Loewe, I did not unbox it yet. So the other ones, they all came in boxes, but I left the boxes in Hawaii just because it wouldn't fit in my suitcase. So here's an actual unboxing. All right, so I got, again, with credit from my returned flamenco, I ended up getting this wallet. So it is a puzzle, I would say, card case. I really liked the coloring on this. It would actually match my mini puzzle from the Suna Fujita line from the first collaboration. I don't have a Loewe card case. You know, not gonna lie, I'm looking for things that I like, that I want to buy to use up the store credit in Hawaii, because I know once I come back to the mainland, my store credit is valid in the mainland stores, but I'm not getting that Hawaii discount. I've always been eyeing this, so I was like, you know what, might as well. Also, while we're on the topic of things that I returned in Hawaii, one other thing that I did return, which coincidentally I bought on the same shopping trip, so I probably wasn't really thinking straight on that day, was a pair of Miumu sneakers. The slip-ons from New Balance, or the Miumu New Balance collaboration. So the Miumu store in Ala Moana had just opened June 30th. So I just happened to be there on opening day. I was very lucky. Like, they gave me a flower with the purchase, which was very cute. And I don't know, maybe it kind of suckered me into buying the shoes. I love them in the store, but I also happened to be wearing these trousers that made it look nice. I got home, I tried it on with shorts, and it wasn't as cute. It was kind of weird. And also when I walked around in it, it made this like suction sound, which was also not cute. So for $1,160 for a pair of these shoes, I didn't think it was worth it. That is the Hawaii price too. The mainland price for that is $1,200, so $40 cheaper. So Miu Miu overall was not a good deal. A lot of those things were just under US mainland prices. Overall, I did buy a lot, did return 2 things. Got lucky that Miu Miu offers a full refund, but unfortunately Loewe didn't. And last but not least, these are the things that I got from the Hermes store in Ala Moana. There is no Hawaii discount for Hermes. All you're getting is the 4.712% sales tax. Also, Hawaii Hermes boutiques do tend to get more products in. It's easier to get certain items. I would say overall Waikiki tend to have more stock, but they also tend to have more customers. So really what is available is kind of luck of the draw. Ala Moana in general doesn't tend to be the friendliest vibe, but I did luck out on this trip where I met a new sales associate and she was very friendly, and I mean she was a breeze to work with. I really appreciated her. I didn't have to go back for a bag. She actually gave me a bag on my first visit, and then I went back on my own to get a couple more items just to kind of build a relationship, also so she remembered my face, you know. So I first went in just to see what kind of watch straps they had for my Cape Cod watch here. So I got this Cape Cod watch. It was with a double tour Berenia strap, but it was very old, and I got it secondhand from Brandier. I paid about $700 for the watch, which, you know, is pretty good, but the strap was really beat up. So I knew I wanted to replace it. So I did opt for an exotic just because I can get exotics in Hawaii, but you can't get it in California. They had several exotic watch straps available, and out of all of them, I chose the blue just because I already have a watch strap that's black. I wasn't a fan of the tan yellow color. So they'll switch it out for you. The clasp portion doesn't come with the strap. So if I were to keep the clasp on the Berenia watch strap it came with, I would have to buy a separate clasp to go with the blue alligator strap. But I already knew I wasn't going to use the Berenia strap, so I just had them transfer it over. So I don't know what the price is for the clasp. Sorry, I forgot to ask. But overall, the alligator strap was $475. So the watch together with the watch and the watch strap was about $1,180-ish. So about, let's round it, $1,200, which is, you know, it's a lot. But then if you were to buy it brand new with a new strap and such, it costs $3,500. So you're saving by buying it secondhand. So I bought this first. I bought the watch strap. And then at checkout, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just ask? So I asked for this bag, which has been on my radar since last year. I'll just unbox it now. Unbox it, unbag it, unbag the bag. So it is the mini garden party, or they call it Neo Garden 23. So this is 23 centimeters across. It does fit a phone quite easily. Take out the cards. So it did come in a box, but I left the box in Hawaii. I will probably do a full review of it In the future, I also have a Garden Party 30 and a 36. So now I'll be able to compare the 23, 30, and 36. So yeah, so this is in the ecru and noir canvas, and then the straps and the bottom is actually vert almond. I think it's a great neutral. It does fit on the crook of your arm, but would not, I would not be able to put it under on my shoulder. So I've been asking my San Francisco sales associate for this bag for the longest time. The San Francisco store in general, even if it's not a quota bag, I find that like if you don't spend anything, they're not going to offer anything. I'm sure it depends on your sales associate, but the Ala Moana boutique, I just bought this watch strap. It was a brand new sales associate to me. I literally just walked in, and the first person who walked up to me and asked me if they could help, I just went with her, and I got very lucky. It was also my first time going into their back room. I'm sorry that I didn't film it. Like, I just wasn't expecting anything. I think I was just more pleasantly surprised at how easy the transaction was. Literally just had to ask, and she had one in stock, and she was willing to sell it to me without me having to come back or buy more things. So yeah, funny enough though, I did go back and I did buy more things. I ended up getting this is a belt strap. So I wanted a blue belt strap kind of to go with my blue watch strap. And unfortunately, it is not the same green to the garden party. So it kind of worked out. I did not get the buckle. So whenever you buy a buckle, you have to buy a leather strap to go with it. But you could buy a leather strap without buying the buckle. So I already have a silver and gold buckle, and the sizing was also not quite what I needed. So if you can see here, there's 4 holes. It's usually 3 holes. So they were able to make this outer hole for me because this is actually 5 centimeters smaller than my usual belt size. So, you know, any Hermes boutique should be able to make holes for you. And so, you know, these belts, you know, hopefully will last you a lifetime. I really like buying Hermes belts because of this interchangeability factor. This belt was $4.95. And then the last thing I got from Hermes, I have yet to unbox. It is fragile, but I also just wanted to point out the ribbon for 2025. This is my first time getting a special ribbon at Ala Moana this time around. Everything came wrapped in the 2025 ribbon. The theme is called Drawn to Craft. So if you notice, like the silks and the other items, specialty items that they have for this year will feature some sort of like illustration. My first, I guess, Hermes unboxing. Don't worry, it's not that exciting. Don't get your hopes up. But I've been looking for something like this for a while. It's so cute. So I am a huge fan of the Shandong motif from Hermes. One of my first bags that I purchased from the boutique in San Francisco, or actually my only bag that I purchased at the boutique in San Francisco, is the In the Loop 23. And I got it because of the Shandong motif. So yes, these are the things that I got at Hermes. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing or liking. And coming up in the future, I probably will be reviewing these bags more thoroughly along with my other purchases from 2025. So thanks again, and see you in the next one. Bye.